leadership, I like to say, the action is in the interaction. We all have strategies, we all have values, we all have plans. It's how you bring them to life in the moment with others that defines your reputation as a leader. If you're effective in the moment with others, you understand the issue, you see the other people, you provide a leadership perspective, you help advance the notion, you will succeed. If you're ineffective in the moment, you will fail. In essence, it is that simple. It is not complicated. The action is in the interaction. We recognized that 10 years ago when we started on our journey with Campbell. Campbell Soup Company is an $8 billion company, about 20,000 employees. I was fascinated to hear the story about Apple or Starbucks, extraordinary icon companies. But I tell you, they would love to have 85% household penetration with their products, and they would love to have 6 units in every one of those households, wouldn't they? That's the Campbell Soup Company. We also have the 3rd largest cookie and cracker company in the world. You would know it as Pepperidge Farm. We've built the world's largest children's cracker business. You would know it as Goldfish. We're also in the healthy beverage business. We have the world's largest vegetable juice business. You would know it as V8. An extraordinary company with some extraordinary employees. In 2000, we had lost half our market value, and the company was severely in disarray. Sales were declining, earnings were declining, spending had been cut to the bone, and then some. There had been a series of layoffs that had led to this feeling of an incredibly toxic environment. On top of that, the company is located in Camden, New Jersey, the poorest, most dangerous city in the United States. 78,000 people, 38 murders last year. A desperate, desperate situation. You drove into the headquarters, it was surrounded by a fence with barbed razor wire on top, and you had guard stands by the parking lot. So the business was collapsing, people were being laid off, and here you were going to work every day. First day I went to work, they recruited me at the Four Seasons Hotel in Philadelphia. Very smart. The first day I go to work, they say, here you go, and they're driving me in, and I say, no, I was aware that there was a minimum security prison in Camden. I said, no, we're going to Campbell's. And the driver said, oh, no, Mr. Conant, this is Campbell's. Difficult situation, difficult place to go to work every day. Very troubled environment. Stealing a phrase from Stephen Covey, we recognized very early on that we couldn't talk our way out of something we behaved our way into, and it was going to take us a while to get back on track. And in fact, over the next 3 years, we reset the company. We lowered our margins down to average margins in the food industry as opposed to margins that were 5 points above the average. And we got the company back on track. We started growing sales, earnings, market share, and starting to build the organization. By 2006, we were better than most, but not as good as we hoped to be. By 2010, we had set records across the board. Let me share a little of the story with you, and then how the interactions played such an integral role in this turnaround. The guiding thought behind all of this is this notion of being tough-minded on standards and tender-hearted with people. If you want to lead in this world, you have to perform. If you want to have an opportunity, you have to deliver. You have to meet or exceed the standards of the job. If you want to be a CEO, you have to have superior financial performance. You have no choice. At the same time, our belief is that that is woefully inadequate. At the same time, we believe great leaders have to be tough-minded on the issues and tender-hearted with the people, because you quickly realize that they're making all the decisions when you're not in the room. They have to be fully engaged in the efforts of the enterprise. And we believe that you can't ask them to devote meaningful, intense energy and effort to the work unless they believe that you are personally invested in them as human beings. In my experience, it just will not work any other way. So if you want to enroll them in the enterprise, you need to be tender-hearted. You need to be personally committed to their well-being. As you evidence that commitment, I guarantee you they will evidence a clear commitment to your enterprise. Tough-minded on the issue, tender-hearted with people. It's not either or, it's all about both. Stealing words from Jim Collins, it's all about the genius of the and. tough-minded on the issue, and tender-hearted with the people. Bringing that genius of the end to life at Campbell's, we have a simple success model. It's very much like a shared value model you might have seen, or a triple bottom line concept. We've been doing this now for going on 6 years, but the notion is that you first and foremost have to win in the workplace. That is our foundational idea. People get engaged in the workplace, then you have to evidence an ability to win in the marketplace, superior total share owner returns, and then that's not enough. You also have to help build a better world. As you build a better world, you get more and better employee engagement, and you actually have a winning formula in the workplace. You have to do all of that with integrity. That's our success model. We publish that in our annual report every year for the last 5 years, our performance. In terms of winning in the workplace, you're all familiar with Gallup and employee engagement, so I'm preaching to the choir here. But I guarantee you there's no CEO on the planet, other than maybe Jim Clifton, who runs Gallup, who knows more about this than I do. And I'd love to have an opportunity to talk about it at great length, but I'll fight the urge. To deliver world-class engagement is about a 12-to-1 ratio, right? 12 wildly engaged people for every one person who's actively disengaged in the enterprise. Then you have a spring in the step in the culture, because you've got 12 people with great energy and you've got one person who might be not as helpful. When we started in 2001, we had the lowest employee engagement of any Fortune 500 company, and they had done nearly 300 companies at the time. It was a product of that environment I talked about at the beginning of this section. We were in disarray. It was a toxic environment. People did not feel valued, and they certainly didn't value the agenda of the company. We committed to every employee that we would value their agenda and, in turn, over time, inspire them to value ours. This process of managing carefully all of our interactions has led to world-class performance as of 2008, and we're at 17-to-1 today. 17-to-1 just came in for 2011, and our global leadership team, our top 350 people, the engagement ratio is over 70-to-1. Our people are wildly engaged in our enterprise. And interestingly, all of a sudden we start to be recognized for engagement, for having a best place to work, for winning the Catalyst Award for advancing the opportunities for women in business, for creating an exceptional technology culture or an exceptional diversity culture. And by the way, it leads to superior marketplace performance. We've out-delivered the S&P 500 almost fivefold through this difficult environment, through this difficult financial challenge. Our best year in history was in 2010. We've outperformed our peer group in the S&P Food Group, and we've also outperformed the S&P. We've also been consistently recognized as a leading company in terms of corporate social responsibility as we help to build a better world. Using the Boston College Center for Corporate Citizenship Reputation Survey, we've been in the top 10, as have 4 other food companies, interestingly. Highly recognized in this space as well. And we also care about how we're viewed in terms of our integrity. And we value those watchdog groups that are saying, here's how you're doing. Ethisphere Magazine, ethisphere.com, one of the world's most ethical companies. We take great pride in that recognition. So whether it's winning in the workplace, winning in the marketplace, building a better world, or doing it all with integrity, employing the genius of the and, creating a culture of performance where people feel valued and that value our agenda, that's what this is all about, and you do it one touch point at a time.